Hiya, welcome to part 3 of the New Age religion and the old saviour complex. I'm going to tell you a little story now. It's about a chap I bumped into on the street just a few years ago who really opened up my eyes to all of this. I don't know his name, I don't really know him, don't know him. And again, I'm not there to deliberately attack and put down these people, and I'm not on an ego trip to prove a point or anything like that. I'm just trying to help open up people's minds, those minds that want to be opened up, as honest researchers have done to me, have helped me. And I was in the middle of the day in the town, walking on the street, and I bumped into this chap, and he handed me a DVD and just asked for a small donation. So I just gave him a few bits of change in my pocket, and he said that's fine. And I took it home. I didn't really speak to him much, and it was the title of the video. I still have the video, the DVD. I think it was called The Chip, or something like that. And basically, it was very well done. I knew it had a Christian slant in it. Basically, it was kind of a modern interpretation of Revelations regarding the mark of the beast. Revelations, I think it's 13. Basically, when it says, the damned, they'll have like a mark on their forehead or their wrists. I think it's the left or right, left wrist, I think, I don't know which one. And basically, they're saying that if you don't have this mark, you will not be able to buy or to trade, basically. So it will be impossible to do that in the future. And the whole Revelations is basically people take it as prophecy. This is what will happen in the future towards the final judgment on earth. And so it's kind of a modern interpretation of the mark of the beast in Revelation. They were saying that mark will be a microchip, an ID chip. You've probably heard the idea before. There's a lot of American Christians talking about that. That it'll be the identification chip, and which makes sense because the threat of the identification chip, amongst other things, is very real. And basically, I've spoke about this before. I think the powers that be do want a cashless society. They want all the money digital, and they want a microchip, identification chip inside everyone. I mean, we've got chips in our mobile phones. They want to push it further and get it in our bodies, and they want money basically through that chip, their cash. And this is what these Christian group are saying. This is going to happen. They were saying it's basically prophecy. It's kind of written in the stars, as Alan Watts says, that it's going to happen, and they were preparing for it. Because once you if you don't have a chip, you cannot buy anything. And as it says in Revelations, I mean, there's probably more than one interpretation of the Revelations regarding the mark of the beast, but they had that one, and it's a very interesting video. It's well put together. They had all sorts of people, non-Christian, speaking about how the benefits of the microchip, how good it will be. They had clippets on the news, American news, British news, I think, as well, and all sorts about how the idea of an identification chip on people, the idea of it, we're already doing it to our pets and dogs. Humans are the next step. The benefits of a money system through it, and all of that, and then other people saying, even non-Christians saying, the sinister sides of it. And then there was a scene when they were sitting down together with the Book of Revelations, and then discussing what they just watched regarding the news, basically speaking about the microchip and everything, and putting forward the idea as a positive thing, and and how real, how much of a reality it is, and they seem very intelligent together. And then what they actually did was they went out in the general public, in towns and things like that, with a little book of Revelation, and they weren't kind of fanatical in your face. They just had it on Revelations 13 or whatever it is, and they had that part where that you receive a mark, and if you don't receive that mark, you will not be able to buy or sell or something like that. And they were just saying to strangers, "What do you think that means?" And to be honest with you, most of them never really gave the Bible the time of day. They didn't even think about it, not once. It was very shallow, the responses that they got. And then these Christian group put the idea saying, "We believe that this is the identification chip, the microchip. It's a sign of the times. It's happening to people, and it's going to go global. If that happened, would you resist it, or would you think it's a good idea?" And they were like, "Oh God, I never thought of it that way." And most, I think a lot of them thought, "Oh yeah, it's a good idea." Actually, some of them were a bit iffy, saying, "No, I think I reject it." So they were kind of putting out the feelers to find out how people thought about it, and is it really in their subconscious? Is it on their minds? With a bit of disappointment, really. And I thought this group's quite good. So I was watching that, and I watched the whole thing, and I thought, well, you get open-minded people in all walks of society and cultures and beliefs and religions, and I thought that's one of them, and it kind of brought my hopes up. Months passed, and I bumped into the same chap, and this time he gave me a book just for a small donation. And the book was called something like "Not for Everyone." I think that's what it's called. Yeah, "Not for Everyone." And I've still got the book as well as the DVD, and I forgot to bring it in because I wanted to show you it. But I basically remember the gist of it, and it was a big disappointment. I was shaking my head all the way through it. I almost couldn't believe how those people, if this book represents the belief system of all those people in that video and the chap that spoke to me, I was a little shocked and I was a little disappointed, to be honest with you. It was really a letdown, but it was worth it because it gave me a real insight into human nature, I think. The basic kind of undertones of the book was, it was basically a modern spin on Revelations, the coming of Christ, the return of Christ, and basically the rapture, the chosen few, and God's final judgment on earth of the non-believers, and basically what they believed, or what this chap believed, or what they believe in the people that follow this book, is that Jesus is going to come to earth on a big UFO, a big giant mothership, like an ancient space astronaut. He's going to come and all his angels are going to be there with him. And basically when that happens, the believers, the people that knew this was coming, and the believers of Christ, he's going to save, and he's going to kind of, put them on his ship. Maybe I think it's maybe he's going to beam them up, teleport them on his ship with all the jolly angels there, and they're going to be the saved, the chosen of the human race, and he's going to take them off planet. He's going to take them away. I don't know if he's going to take them to another planet or they're going to go into another dimension, but basically that will be the return of Christ in this current modern world we live in. And the non-believers will take it for an alien invasion. That's what the book said. They won't see it for what it is, which is really Jesus Christ returning with his heavenly angels. They won't see it as that. They'll see it as an alien threat, like an attack. So the human governments, the powers that be, will act hostile, and they will fire. They'll pick a fight basically, and and there's nothing that they, Jesus could do about it. He can't deter these people. They're determined because they're ignorant, because they don't see their saviour, and so he will judge them, and he will destroy, so many percentages of the people, and destroy so much percentages of the earth and all of that, and it'd be like a great kind of apocalyptic scene, a physical war with technology, with giant UFO spacecraft and everything. Like Independence Day, because they mention in the book, it mentions Independence Day, uses Independence Day as a good example of what's really going to happen, and soon as well. It can happen any day. They're saying, just as in Independence Day you had the giant motherships circle the earth, that will be the return of Jesus, the Messiah. That's what they believe. And then people will be really intimidated and frightened by it, and they won't understand. But the believers are going to be saved. They're going to be taken onto this big spaceship. And this just is exactly like some of the other alien cults that were in the past. They've convinced people that they were going to be saved. I mean, I don't know the details, but there's one cult, I think it was in the 60s, where a guy convinced people that there was a comet going to hit the Earth or something, and that they were going to be saved by some alien saviour, and basically it didn't happen, and it led to a lot of people killing themselves, something like that. So this belief system can be kind of dangerous, because, and it's amazing. I mean, these people, they were doing some kind of incredible things. They weren't living with money. They had a lot of motivation. They were actually eating food that had been thrown away. And I'll hold that thought and talk to you about it in part 4.